A file too dangerous. The security lights inside the underground memorial chamber flickered once, just enough to cast long shadows across the polished granite walls. And then, footsteps. Slow, deliberate, echoing. A tall, sharply dressed man emerged from the dim hallway, his expression controlled, his pace unhurried. Even without introduction, everyone knew the unmistakable silhouette: Vladimir Putin, visiting under the pretense of a diplomatic tour. But what no one knew, what no one was supposed to know, was that he was leaving the site with something hidden beneath his coat. A black, unmarked folder, sealed with the crimson stripe and stamped with a symbol only the highest U.S. officials recognized. A file containing a secret so potent it had been buried for decades beneath layers of national silence. Putin's eyes darted briefly to the exit. His personal guards kept their distance, playing their parts, unaware or pretending to be. Only one person stood between him and the world above. A single tomb guard standing stone still in ceremonial uniform. Perfect posture. Unmoving boots. Unblinking focus. This was not a man interested in politics. This was a sentinel trained to detect the smallest breach, the slightest irregularity. A guardian, not just of a tomb, but of honor, duty, and discipline. Putin continued forward, confident, calculating, until he passed within 3 steps of the guard. That's when it happened. The tomb guard's hand moved fast, precise, blocking the path with the gleaming edge of his ceremonial rifle. A gasp surged through the cavernous hall. Putin froze, caught off guard for the first time all afternoon. The guard's voice cut through the silence like a blade. "Sir, you are carrying unauthorized material." Putin's jaw tightened. His fingers clenched the hidden file beneath his coat. This was not part of his plan, and the world had just shifted in a direction he did not expect. The guard who wouldn't move. Putin's eyes narrowed, cool, calculating. But the tomb guard didn't flinch. The chamber fell into a tense, echoing silence. Only the soft hum of the underground ventilation filled the space, like the breath of something ancient awakening. Putin spoke first, voice low and sharp. "Step aside, I have clearance." The guard's jaw remained locked, his posture unbroken. "Sir, you will reveal the contents of your coat." His tone wasn't aggressive. It wasn't political. It was the unwavering tone of a man carrying out sacred duty, whether facing a tourist, a diplomat, or a world leader. 2 of Putin's personal security agents shifted forward, hands near their coats. But before they could interfere, click! The tomb guard's boot struck the floor in a thunderous, commanding stomp that echoed through the chamber like a warning shot. The entire room seemed to freeze. The agents halted instantly. Even Putin blinked at the sudden razor-sharp shift in atmosphere. The guard continued. "No one is permitted to remove confidential archival material from this site. Not even you, sir." Putin's jaw tightened. His fingers clenched the hidden file beneath his coat. This was not part of his plan, and the world had just shifted in a direction he did not expect. The file that should never have been found. Two more tomb guards emerged from the shadows behind Putin, boots striking the floor in perfect unison. They moved like precision-machined gears, silent, exact, unstoppable. Putin didn't turn, but he felt them. 3 elite ceremonial guards surrounding him without hesitation. This was no ordinary honor detail. This was a coordinated barrier, a trap. Putin slowly exhaled through his nose. "So," he murmured, "someone has betrayed my schedule." The lead guard did not answer. He simply extended a white-gloved hand toward Putin's coat. The file. Putin's expression hardened. The crimson-striped folder pressed against his ribs seemed to pulse with danger. Inside were documents older than most nations. Transcripts, photographs. A confession signed by a man whose name had been erased from every official record. Information so explosive that even reading it felt like stepping onto a battlefield. Putin's eyes lifted his chin. That file contains truths your country buried, and truths my country would use. The guard remained motionless, eyes locked forward. You are in a restricted archive. Remove the file, or you will not be permitted to move. Putin studied him. This impossibly disciplined figure who didn't tremble, didn't blink, didn't care who stood before him. A man who served honor, not politics. A man who could not be intimidated. For the first time, Putin felt a flicker of something he hadn't felt in a very long time. Checkmate. Before the game even began. The standoff beneath the earth. The chamber felt colder now. Colder than any underground room should be. Putin stood perfectly still, weighing choices with the precision of a man who had navigated global crises, but never this kind of standoff. The tomb guards didn't move. They didn't blink. They didn't posture. They simply waited, the way mountains wait for storms to pass. For a moment, Putin thought about bluffing, a claim of diplomatic immunity, a threat, a negotiation. But none of that mattered here. Tomb guards weren't politicians. They weren't negotiators. They weren't swayed by pressure or rank. They were trained to do one thing: protect what must never be compromised. Putin slowly removed his hand from inside his coat, not raising it, not surrendering, just showing he held no weapon. But the guard spoke instantly. Move slowly. Any sudden movement will be interpreted as a threat. Putin exhaled softly. They weren't bluffing. He drew the black folder into view, the crimson stripe catching the dim light. All 4 tomb guards stiffened in unison. Putin noticed it. Even they were uneasy. He held the file tightly, as if the paper itself could anchor him. "You don't understand what this contains. This is not just an American secret. The lead guard answered without shifting his gaze. We understand it endangers every nation, including your own. Putin paused. That was unexpected. Most people didn't grasp that the Omega files contained more than political leverage. They contained truths capable of unraveling alliances, igniting conflicts, or exposing operations that would destabilize the entire global balance. Why guard it so fiercely? He asked. The guard replied with the calm weight only a soldier of absolute conviction could carry.